her having a time, but I wanted her to have a time quietly. Hey nerds, welcome back to my channel. As you can see by the title, we are about to be here for a while. It's time for another story time, and this time it's going to be about my awful roommate. Yeah. But before we get into that, please leave a like. It really helps me out and I appreciate it. Thank you. Now let's get into this. Now, for a long time, I have debated whether I should tell this story or not, because I have like this little small fear that the people who I talk about in these stories is going to see this somehow, some way. And then there's another part of me that's like, F it. Like, I don't care. It's not like I'm using their real names, but I'm definitely telling what happened, like, for real. And if they do see it, I'm at this point, I'm just like, okay, whatever. Oh, well. So I'm going to tell y'all the story of my roommate from hell. Oh, a lot of feelings are coming up right now, okay? Because it was such a trying and frustrating time. Let's start from the beginning. Grab your snacks, get you a bag of chips, a bag of fruit snacks, some water, Gatorade, whatever you want. Settle in, because we're going to be here for a little bit, okay? Okay. This happened last year, my junior year, in the fall semester, so the first semester of my junior year. And my roommate from the year before that was on her way out because she was moving to Colorado. She knows who she is. If you're watching this, hey baby, love you. So that meant I was getting another roommate. When you get a roommate or a new roommate in college, it's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you gonna get, okay? Usually what happens is, like, right before each semester and like you're getting a new roommate, they have you fill out, or my college does this, I don't know about other colleges, they have you fill out a roommate like agreement form. Like, they'll match you up with people who have similar like interests and dislikes as you. So this time around they didn't do that. They just said, screw the whole process, we're just gonna stick someone in here who needs a room and needs somewhere to stay. And so I was hoping that I didn't get an awful roommate, but that's exactly what I got, okay? So this new girl, the new roommate, let's call her, let's call her Penny. The girl, the main character of this story, her name's gonna be Penny today, okay? So when I first meet Penny, she was, you know, a little standoffish, which was understandable because we're strangers at this point, we don't know each other. But, you know, she seemed okay for the most part. And then, you know, the more that I got to know her, I thought she was super cool. I'm like, okay, you know, she seems nice. I'm like, I think we'll be okay. And before I get into like the meat of the story, I want to give a little context about myself. So here's how I am, like, if you're living with me. I am very adamant about keeping the entire place clean. I usually don't leave my room. The only time that I leave my room is for school and or work, and that is literally it. I'm very introverted, so I'm home like 60-70% of the time. I value my privacy, and I also value my quiet time. I need my quiet time. Also, I love to nap. I'm a napper, you know. I love sleep. I need sleep. Don't we all? Like, come on. So a few things about me before we get like deeper into the story. There you go. The first red flag that Penny like showed was how freaking loud she was. You could hear her cackle from a mile away. Like, she was so loud. Mind you, the walls in our apartments, like, they're kind of thin. They were like super thin. Like, you could hear everything most of the time. She would be up during the night, like late into the hours of, like, you know, 11, 12-ish, and she would just be on the phone kikiing and ha-ha and loud as hell. And I'm just like, yo. And then on top of that, her laugh was like just so grating. It was like nails on a chalkboard. And it was super annoying. Super annoying. And so I, tried to look past that. I really did. So you know what? She'll probably stop. And then I had to end up telling her like a few days after she was there, like, hey, can you quiet down a little bit? Like, I have to get up in the next few hours and it's kind of hard to sleep because you're being kind of loud. And she goes, oh yeah, sure. It doesn't stop after that. She keeps being loud. And I'm going to tell you exactly how she was being loud. In the month of September, she broke up with her boyfriend of 6 months because men, yeah. And so she was in her feelings. And I was like, hey, how about I make breakfast for dinner, cheer you up, we can hang out, I'll invite my other friend over, it can be like a little girls' night, it'll be fun. And so I invite my friend over and we're chilling in the apartment. I'm making breakfast for dinner. And so she gets on this thing called Yik Yak. I don't know if y'all have it like on y'all's college campuses, but it's like an anonymous, like, it's basically like Reddit or Twitter, but it's like from like anonymous people, or it can be anonymous. I don't know. It's something along the lines of that. I don't really use it. I've just seen people use it, so I could be wrong about the whole form of what it is, but it's basically like Twitter for college students that are on college campus. Whatever, you get what I'm trying to say. And so she posts on Yik Yak, like, this is what she did. And I'm looking at her, I'm like, I know you're not texting him. And then she's like, I'm not. So I go over there, I'm like, what you doing? And she's like, I'm on Yik Yak. I'm like, girl, what? And so I look over on her screen, she's like, meet a sneaker link, who wants to meet up? And let me tell you this. She broke up with her boyfriend like, I think 30 minutes before she posted that. Like, she did not even go through the whole breakup process, which was letting me know that something else was going on in the relationship, but that's not even the main thing. She was so quick to be like, you know what? Screw him. I'm about to like get my kicks tonight, okay? And I'm like, you're not serious. She goes, yeah, like I'm just so sick of this. Like, I need some company. I'm like, we're right here. She goes, no offense, but I need guy company. I was like, oh, okay. And so not even like 10 minutes after she made the post, someone slid up and was like, I'm down. A few minutes go by, and like within those few minutes, her and this guy have like swapped Snapchats, and they chatting up for a little bit. And so she comes up to me in the kitchen. I'm in the kitchen, like, whipping like a stir fry. And she's like, this guy's coming over. And I'm like, when? She goes, right now. I look at my phone, y'all, it's like 12:17 at night. And I'm just like, what? She goes, yeah, he's coming over. And I was like, do you know him? She said, no. I was like, Penny, you have a complete stranger coming over to our apartment in the middle of the freaking night? She goes, girl, don't worry about it. It's fine. So I was trying to be a good roommate and a good person. I was like, you know what? I said, I'll stay here until he gets here, because, we don't know this man that you just invited over to our apartment in the middle of the night. So I'm stay here and make sure you're safe, I'll stay here in the common area as long as you need me to, in our living room. I'll stay there as long as you need me to if you don't feel comfortable. She goes, okay, I appreciate it. So this guy comes over in like the next 5 minutes. He gets here fast. And so he comes to the door, knocks on the door, she opens the door, and she's like, hey, come in. It's like, I'm washing the dishes at this point. Like, I'm cleaning stuff up, and I'm like, listening. She's like, Talia, oh, I gotta give him another name. Wait, I gotta give the guy another name. Wait. Let me think. Okay, I got it. Talia, this is Harry. Harry, this is Talia, my roommate. And I'm like, sup? He goes, what's up? And then she goes, you can go in your room now. And I was like, first of all, not only did you invite a total stranger over to our apartment in the middle of the night, you just blew my cover. I was trying to be, he wasn't supposed to know I was supposed to be your bodyguard, girl. I mean, I don't care if you knew, but like, you blew my cover. So I'm like, okay, fine. So I go in my room, I put the dishes up. I'm like, if she says she's cool, she's cool. So I'm gonna just go in my room, lay down, and go to sleep. An hour goes by, and y'all, they are kikiing and ha-ha and laughing. Like, I can hear their entire conversation in her room. Like I said, the walls, they're thin, girl. They're thin, okay? So I finally go to sleep after a little while, and then I hear something. I hear something. They're getting it in, okay? And I hear literally everything. She sounds like she is faking it till she makes it. Like it, she sounded so like she was exaggerating. That's what it sounded like. She sounded like she was exaggerating, faking it for his ego. And I'm just like, oh my God. So I look at my phone, it's like after 2:30. And I'm just like, oh my God. So I text her. She don't answer me. They still going. I text her again. No answer. They still going. So I call her. She forwards my call. Why they So you telling me you can reach over and grab your phone while you know, and press ignore, but you can't stop for 1 second and answer the call and be like, what's up? Yo. So I said, you know what? Let me just roll over and like ignore it. I was trying to be nice. I really was. And so the thing about Harry is he did not leave our apartment for 2 weeks straight. The only time he left was to get clothes. And he was there for 2 weeks, 24/7. Because they were so... Oh, not my earring coming out. They were so infatuated with each other, and they was having like a time, which, listen, I was all for her having a time, but I wanted her to have a time quietly. If you get in between me and my sleep, we gonna fight, or I'm gonna fight you. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like, don't get between me and my sleep. We're gonna have problems today. So I wake up the next morning to very loud music, like from one of those big old JBL bass boosted speakers. Mind you, it's like 9 in the morning. And also, I want to add this. Our apartment complex, like on campus where we were living in, they had rules. Like, they were like quiet hours. So you had to be quiet from 10 p.m. to 10 a.m. Harry was playing music at 9 a.m. for what? Like loud trap rap music at 9 a.m. What was the reason? I do not know to this day. So this went on for like a few more days, like 3 more days, like of them having very loud physical intimacy at all hours of the day, mind you. It wasn't just at night. It was during the afternoon, in the morning, at snack time. Like, it was, they were doing it constantly. And then when they weren't doing it, Harry was blasting his music. And I was like, yo, I was having to leave my own apartment to study. And it was a good thing that I was already very fond of the library as a study space anyway. But I was trying to escape what was going on in my own apartment. Like, it wasn't just her. She was acting like as if that was just her up in that bitch. And it wasn't. We shared that apartment. And I'm just like, you acting like you live alone and you don't. So finally, I had enough. I text her one day. I'm like, yo, are you home? She's like, no, I'm in class. What's up? I said, when you get out of class, can you come home? We need to talk. And she's like, oh my God, like, what did I do? Like, you know, acting like she ain't got no clue. She was scared. And I was like, it's nothing bad. I was trying to soften the blow because I was mad as hell. I was like, it's nothing bad. I just want to talk. I want to talk face to face. I just want to talk to you face to face, not over the phone. I said, let me know when you are on your way home so I can get going home too. She goes, okay. And then I was like, is Harry gonna be there? She goes, yeah, he's still there. I said, oh my God. And here's another thing about that. I did not like the fact that that random ass boy was in our apartment by himself. And he don't even live there. He was just chilling in her room while we were at class and or work. I love being paranoid sometimes because I always lock all of my stuff up. When I was living up in those apartments that year, I would lock everything up before I left the house every single day. Every single time I left the apartment. Every single time. No question about it. And I'm glad I did it because I didn't know this man. He was up in our apartment, up in her bed, like chilling like a villain. So I get home. The minute I close the front door. She comes out of her room and she's looking at me like, hey, like, girl, don't play with me right now. I'm trying so hard to like. And then so Harry comes up behind her. I'm like, come on, y'all, come to the living room. Let's sit down. Let's sit down. So I sit them down and I'm like, listen, I think it's great that y'all are getting to know each other. I think it's great that y'all are having all this sex. And I did say that. I'm like, that's wonderful. I said, but could you do it quietly? Can you get to know each other quietly? Because I gotta get up early in the morning for my job and for class, and like it's really hard for me to get my sleep when I'm hearing that, and y'all would be really loud. So I would appreciate it if y'all would just like keep it down. They're like, oh my god, like they're so embarrassed, like, oh my gosh. We're like, she was like, we didn't know. I'm so sorry. I'm like, it's cool. I'm just like, So I look at Harry, I'm like, Harry, and also one thing I said, if you're gonna be sticking around, like, could you maybe like help out with the dishes or like help out cooking or help out cleaning this place up, because it seems like you're not going anywhere. Oh, forgot this. The night after she met Harry, they started dating. Yes. So after like an hour of talking and then screwing, they decided that they were gonna date. I forgot to add that part in, but yeah. So I'm like, yeah, Harry, if you're gonna be sticking around here, which I don't mind, I lied, I didn't mind. I said, can you help with like the dishes? Can you help with chores? Because, fair is fair. He was like, yeah, sure, whatever. And time goes by, like, they still doing the same stuff. They broke their promises like that. So I didn't mention this about Penny, but the girl was messy. She was uber disgusting. I would see her room, I would like try not to gag because like her room was so freaking dirty. And then she would leave dishes in the sink, on this counter, on the stove, food takeout on the kitchen table, like sitting there for days, mind you. And so they were still making all that noise after I talked to them and sat them down like a grown woman and said, yo, let's not do this no more. Can we not do that no more? Broke their promise. They were still screaming loudly. They were still blasting music. And then they decided to make dinner one night when I'm like not home. Cause I think I was at my boyfriend's apartment when this happened. They made spaghetti for one like night and time. I said, okay, that's fine. So I'm like, as long as y'all like clean up after yourselves, like y'all wash my dishes, cause I have my own dishes, okay? Penny let that pot of spaghetti sit there for a freaking week and it molded everywhere. Molded. And I was like, ooh, She decides to finally clean it out and then she puts it back in my cabinet. Now, I don't know about y'all, but if any of my dishes mold, I throw them away. I don't care how hard you scrub it, disinfect it, bleach it, power wash it. It had mold on it. I'm not about to keep that. I throw them away. She washed the pot and put it back in my cabinet. I threw the pot away. And I was like, yo, I don't appreciate you like leaving that food in there like that because that was my only pot that I had and you molded it. Well, I washed it. It don't matter. It had mold in it. I'm not going to want to use it ever again after that. Push comes to shove after 2 weeks. Her and Harry break up. And then she gets right back together with her ex-boyfriend. I'm not going to give him a name. I'm going to just say ex-boyfriend. So ex-boyfriend was a youth pastor, okay? And he was like very adamant about his Christianity, which is fine. That's fine. Penny was a Christian too. But he was more like hardcore than her. So what she told me one time when after they broke up, because you know how you break up with someone and you start talking mess about them. Yeah. She told me that after every time they had fun time, he would go to the shower and wash off all of his sins of what they just did. Here's my thing. How are you gonna be a youth pastor who believes in like no premarital sex, but that's exactly what you were doing and without protection at that? Can you say hypocrisy? Also, they would be on the phone like every day for hours because he lived like an hour away from where we were at. If y'all couldn't tell, I have a potty mouth And so one night she was chilling in the kitchen on the phone with her ex-boyfriend, and they're talking. He's on speaker. I'm pretty sure she's on speaker too. And so I'm in the kitchen like doing my thing, trying to like get me some whatever I was doing. And I dropped something. I'm like, oh shit. Oh damn it. And then so I hear the ex-boyfriend on the other line. He's like, who was that? And then Penny was like, oh, that's my roommate. She don't need to be talking like that. And so I stop and I look. And I'm like, who is that? Talking about who is that? And she's like, oh, it's so-and-so. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then I was just thinking, I'm like, first of all, mind your business. And then a little while later, he finally comes to visit her when he has time. And so I'm chilling in the living room when he gets there. And I'm like, oh, what's up, Smiley? Nice to meet you. He's like, hi, you know, whatever. We exchange niceties or whatever. And so I get ready to go in my room so they can have like the living room to themselves. I say something, like I cuss. I say something and I cuss. And he goes, you really shouldn't be talking that way. Like, you're a lady. So I turned and I was like, excuse me? He goes, profanity is just so like perverse. And I'm like, I live here. I pay to live here. I can speak however I want to. I said, when you pay for us to live here, or you pay for me to live here, then you can tell me what to say. And then Penny was like, okay, calm down. I was like, no, because he's not about to tell me I can talk in my own apartment. And I'm just now meeting you for the first time. You gonna tell me how I can talk in my apartment? Sir, respectfully, get the out of here. And so she does the same thing with ex-boyfriend as she does with Harry. She's loud, boisterous. And so I go home for a little bit, you know, just to see the family. I come back. I find out, she tells me this like it's funny. I find out that Penny and ex-boyfriend had intercourse on our couch. The same couch that I lay on when I watch movies on the big screen. The same couch that my friends sit on when I had them over. The same couch that her friends sit on when she has them over. They had intercourse on the couch. And then she was telling me, like, oh my god, you're gonna laugh at this. So guess what happened? Like, we did it like right there. And I'm like, what? I said, no. I'm like, you lying. Like, you're lying. She was like, no, I'm not. Like, it was like a, you know, it was hot. And I was like, I lay on that couch. And you know that. You know I lay on that couch like almost every day. I'm like, why would you do that? We just wanted to do it on a couch. We never done it on a couch before. I said, you have a whole entire bedroom with a full-size bed in it big enough for the two of you. Why are you not screwing on that? Why are you not screwing in there? I'm so mad because already she has been driving up my last nerve. Whole time she's been in this apartment with me. That was the straw that broke the camel's back, because not only do I have to hear you do your thing, but now you're telling me you're doing your thing in a common area where everybody sits. That is biological warfare. And get this, she didn't even have any like regret or remorse. She thought that shit was funny. I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, what's wrong with you, Penny? Penny, why? And she's like, well, we wiped it down. I didn't believe her, cause she don't clean shit, not a day in her life, cause she let my pot mold. I'm pretty sure you let that after post-coital smell linger too. I didn't believe that. So as this semester came to a close, I put a lot of distance between her and I as much as I could, because she was really like making me angry. She kept on disrespecting my wishes. She was just being disrespectful in general. I was like, I can't do this any longer. I said, I cannot survive another semester with her. So I email our housing department. I'll put the receipts up. I'll put them up right now. And I'm like, my roommate is very loud. She's very disrespectful. I'm like, she just, you know, it's too much for me. And I was like, is there any way that you could move her? If not, move me. Because I was there first. So I'm like, move her. I'm like, if that's not the case, I said, move me. Move me to a 1-bedroom. Like, I was like, I can't do it no more. I come to find out that she dropped out that semester, so she wasn't coming back. And I got another roommate. for last spring. I tell y'all something, she was the worst roommate I had ever had. And not only that, like, was she loud, you know, disrespectful and all that, she was straight up annoying. Just so annoying. And I'm not trying to be mean, but yeah. Now, there was a lot of other stuff that happened that I wanted to talk about, but we're gonna be here all day. We're gonna be looking at each other, smiling at each other all day, kikiing, spilling tea, and I'm not trying to be here all day. But yeah, that was the story of my awful, terrible roommate from junior year. That concludes our video for today. If you liked it, leave a like. Do this, please. In the comments, if you wanna tell me about your worst roommate experience or something, if you wanna, I don't know. Drop a comment or two if you wanna, and subscribe if you want to. I will see y'all on the next go round. Okay, bye.